Welcome back to another episode of the WMMA Today podcast with Drake Riggs and me, Steve. On this show, we have a hell of a lot to talk about. UFC 251, Rose Namajunas, Amanda Ribas. There was another fight on that card. We have a lot of rescheduled fights. We have two cards coming up this week, Wednesday, which is tomorrow, and then another normal Saturday fight card, and a hell of a lot more to talk about. All right, let's go.
Let's
fucking go, Riggs.
Let's fucking go.
All right, UFC 251 recap. Rose Namajunas beat Jessica Andrade by split decision in a really just a beautiful technical fight by Rose Namajunas. It was a really good fight from both of them. Rose just looked phenomenal though.
Yep, looked good once again. Not as sharp. I mean, hard to replicate that performance, but still very sharp in those first two rounds. Obviously, it was very cut and dry scoring. Surprising to see one judge gave it to Andrade, admittedly, because, it was pretty clear, everything. Makes me wish that there were two more rounds, though. I tell you that. I tell you that much. I wish that it was a main event. Because, Andrade made really phenomenal adjustments. Was able to avoid as much damage as she took, in the first two rounds in the last fight. But it still looked pretty similar. Rose just had that technical edge, like we kind of assumed that she would if she was to come in on point, which, came in on point enough to stick around and, get the win. But Andrade, really adjusted overall well, even though she still lost those first two rounds, but came on so strong at the end and was seriously pouring it on. I mean, pretty much all the significant damage she did came in that last round, like especially physically when you look at Rose's face. That was all from the third round. I mean, damn, dude, it was looking like she was in some trouble there towards the end of it. But hey, Rose, they don't call her Thug Rose for nothing.
Thug Rose, Thug Rose.
So, yeah, it was something. Very good performance by both ladies, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. It was really nice to see Rose back. She looked happy. She looked good. She was really just taking Pat Barry's advice through the whole thing. Like him or not, I think he's doing really well with Rose Namajunas. She listens to him, and it's not like he was a terrible fighter himself. He was actually a decent fighter. He might be a better coach than a fighter, though. Rose is just really looking good. She's back to championship form. Did we see her fight Weili Zhang?
I would assume that's probably what they'll do. We talked about this, what was it, last week, with so many options at strawweight, right? Like that mini tournament that I kind of want. But yeah, I feel like it'll be so hard for them not to go with Rose. And I mean, Weili has already talked about Rose before.
Mm-hmm.
She's interested in that one.
Yep.
Thinks she was a great champion. I think she was saying that she kind of wanted Rose over Joanna, if I remember correctly, for her first title defense and everything.
Yeah.
So it'll just come down to how much recovery time Rose is going to want, if she'll want to turn around too quickly, because I know that Weili's pretty much ready to go whenever, it seems like. She's posting a little bit right now, getting back into training if she took any break, which is unlikely for her, but, sounds like everybody's ready to go on that side. And in terms of the UFC wanting to get her a fight, it's just a matter of who she'll fight. So, yeah, it just depends on Rose's recovery time, I would
yeah, I
guess.
mean, you see the aftermath of it. Rose got a little bit beat up, but that's
most
what happened.
beat up we've seen her, honestly.
But that's what happens with Rose too. Yeah, the most that we've seen her, her face all fucked up. She had a really nasty black eye, but again, she looked phenomenal. She's a former champion. She was a great champion. She just beat Jessica Andrade, who is a former champion. Who's a former champion. The same person who picked her up and slammed her. She overcame that. There had to be some kind of fear in Rose Namajunas coming into this fight, just because of how the last fight ended for
Whenever she grabbed her,
with Andrade. Right. But I mean, it says on those totals on the screen, 1 of 3 takedowns for Andrade.
Which was in the third round there.
I was gonna say I don't even remember the Andrade takedown. Did Rose just pop right back up?
No, she was down for a little bit. That was like kind of middle of that last round, and I think it was caught off a kick because it definitely wasn't just like a double or a single.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like a trip of sorts. And Andrade didn't do, too crazy of damage, but yeah, they were down there for a little bit. But Rose ended up kicking her off really nicely. It was maybe like 30 seconds.
That's right. She kicked her off. Yeah.
Yeah.
She kicked her off and popped right back up.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jessica didn't exactly go for a ton of takedowns, which I think she probably would have. She probably should have, because she has the strength over Rose. She's not the better packaged fighter as Rose, as we've seen in a full 3-round fight. Rose just looked phenomenal. But Jessica Andrade is strong. Her nickname isn't the bulldozer for no reason. She's literally a fucking strong, tiny woman.
Little pile driver, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, because it does say that she had 2 attempts in the first and second round, but I don't remember anything looking like an actual takedown attempt.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just whatever. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who they. You know what? I bet that we'll see Andrade versus Suarez next. I bet you. Which I've loved that matchup ever since I've thought about it. When after Andrade beat, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was after she beat Rose, but around that time, I was like, oh damn, that'll be such an amazing matchup at whatever point that it happens at. I could see that happening next. I'm for it. It would be crazy to imagine Andrade on a 3-fight losing streak, but hey, that strawweight is just so deep right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, Rose most likely I think will get the title shot, even though I like the idea of my personal idea of that tournament that unofficial tournament shaking out, winner getting it there, but that would take too long, most likely. So
yeah, and
fine.
And we don't even know the Tatiana Suarez, what's going on with her.
Exactly.
We just don't know when she's going to be back, how long it's going to be. We just don't know, which is quite unfortunate, because shit, we can see what a great she has great matchups ahead of her. It's just unfortunate because she's so damn good.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that is even shittier kind of is that she's gonna come back to no easy fights. Like he's gonna have been out for a while now.
Yeah, like what's a tune-up fight at this point for her? Freaking, she's ranked number 3. She's tied for at number 3 with Joanna. Claudia Gadelha?
I mean, depends on what happens with her in the Xiaonan fight. But I mean, even then, that's still not the easiest fight.
Carla Esparza, you and I were talking about Carla Esparza off camera. Carla Esparza, I mentioned that Tatiana Suarez is like a Carla Esparza, bigger version of Carla Esparza, because they're both wrestlers. If that would be a great fight if they fought each other, because of the wrestling. I love wrestling, and I love
Steven, did you forget that they did fight and it didn't go very well?
They did fight. Yeah. You're right. I was thinking that as I was saying it. I was like, wait, they did fucking fight. You're stupid.
Yeah,
I'm dumb.
Very, Very not good for Carla.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think that was her last loss,
It
actually.
was her last loss. God damn it.
That's
Well, if they fucking go again,
ridiculous.
then it's gonna be the same thing. I mean, Suarez is just a beast. She doesn't have that nickname, Mini Habib, for a reason. Female Habib,
Mm.
whatever it is, for a reason. For no
Mm.
reason. She's just a mauler. And then I see that
Yeah.
Dave said Rose gave Wiley a shout out from the hospital, and
Yeah, yeah, I think I saw that.
yeah, she did. And I think down the line we will see that fight for sure.
At some point,
Yeah,
whether
at
for a
some
title
point
or not.
it has to happen, right?
Yeah, yeah. And though, speaking of really good straw weights, there was one who fought at flyweight too.
Man, Amanda Ribas, she just pretty much took it to Paige Van Zant. First round submission by a beautiful armbar. It only took her a little over 2 minutes. She's a beast. Look at that picture. She's
The elbow bend.
a beast, man.
This fight it felt a lot faster than 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Like, I really don't remember much until they hit the ground. It's like, it felt really fast, a lot faster than that. Um, and, not surprising. We knew that it was most likely one way or another. I thought that Ribas would get to, piece her up a bit more on the feet, but really we didn't see any of that. It was just a matter of, Paige, her most likely path to victory was on the ground, probably by submission in a scramble or something. Something we've seen her do a lot in the past, controlling her opponents and that kind of thing. But yeah, her most likely chance of winning here was still a very bad area to be in. It was just the toughest matchup you
Amanda
could have
Ribas
got.
is really good on the ground. Her jiu-jitsu is really, really good.
Yeah, that was just so well done. No getting out of that. Yeah, it was a great performance. I mean, not a surprising one, but jeez, jeez,
Yeah, I mean,
jeez. And Dave shouting out to Rivas's cuteness. She is a very just such a unique personality. I don't understand how she is so happy all the time, but it's
it's crazy.
definitely refreshing.
If the Happy Warrior wasn't taken already, that could easily be Amanda Ribas's nickname.
Yeah, very,
Um,
very.
but it's weird because we see her always smiling and happy and cackling that crazy funny cackle that she's got going on, but then she's just a fucking monster in the octagon. Like, it's crazy. She goes from cute to fucking beast, and then back to cute,
Like that.
and then back to cute.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's somebody else that's kind of like that. I don't know. I can't think of who it was, but she's probably the best example of like, oh, this person's a fighter. What? Like, what? You hurt people for a living? That doesn't make any sense. And you're
Yeah,
really good at it. Like, oh my,
like really, really good at it. She went up in
really,
weight.
really good. Went up in weight just fine. I mean, Paige is a past strawweight too, but obviously bigger, more set for flyweight now. Um, yeah, it's just, man, strawweight's just so deep. I've seen names tossed around for for her. What'll be next for her? Tisha Torres popped up a lot. I saw, which I think that'd be a really fun one. I
Yeah,
mean, geez, maybe give Tisha a break. I mean, she's back in the win column now, but geez, just tossing all the killers at her. I'm fine with that. I don't
Alexa
know. It's
Grasso.
one of those things. Grasso,
I would
but
love.
flyweight.
I would love.
Everyone's forgetting that Grasso's flyweight now, though,
I
Steven.
would love to see that fight though.
I mean, if she wanted to stay at flyweight, but
She said that she's not.
yeah, yeah. So she'd be a better addition there. Obviously, it's not like strawweight needs her, but oh, we can't be mad at somebody wanting to be in strawweight, especially who's so talented.
No, it's. I mean,
So
like we were saying last on the last show, you can go down the whole rankings all the way 1 through 15, and there's Felice Herrig at number 15. She's the only one that isn't
Should not
really,
be on there.
yeah, that isn't really like a monster. I mean, even Angela Hill at number 14, she's really fucking good, and she's really turned her career around.
Yeah, definitely the lack of taking breaks between fights has kind of seemingly really progressed her a lot over the, these
Yeah,
last year and a half or so, however long it's been now. And
it's crazy how
arguably got
active she's been during this pandemic. Like nobody's fighting yet, there she is.
every other week, every other card. Yeah, it's insane, and has another one lined up.
Yeah,
So
phenomenal.
madness, madness, madness. So,
But
but
Amanda
wait,
Ribas is
there's
definitely on the come up, man.
yeah, no doubt about that. So good, good showcase. But I mean, might as well ask this question before moving on: is where is Paige going next? Is she going to stay
No,
or?
no. Dana White. I think Dana White's words were enough. He said, go test the free agent market out." That means peace. That's
I mean,
that's
deuces.
that's a pretty much. All right. Thanks for your time. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw Megan Anderson on her YouTube channel. She was doing kind of recaps of every fight on the main card,
Mm.
and she said she doesn't think that Paige will even fight again. Like let alone fight in the UFC, but like thinks she'll probably retire from here. And I mean, she doesn't need to fight anymore. Probably. I mean,
I don't see
I
why
mean,
she would need to. I think maybe it's the competitor in her.
yeah. And with Bellator back now, that she's gonna go to Bellator. Come on, Vanderford's there. He said he'd be cool with that. Her
Yep.
husband, of course. Um, that's gonna happen. You know they're gonna at least try to make that happen.
They're gonna
For
put those
sure.
two on the same on the same card, and on TV. I mean that's what Bellator is gonna do. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they put Austin Vanderford and Paige Van Zant on the same card on television?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Why not? Why wouldn't you? So, and geez, you imagine how much that they would try and sell like Paige versus Alima. Obviously, that we shouldn't even be thinking about that. That's way too soon. But that would be a dream come true for trying to get her there to that point. And then
Yeah.
with Vanderford, who is very well on his way to getting to a
Mhm.
title shot as well. I mean, that's
Yeah.
still premature, of course, but
Yeah, he's
that
still
guy,
just a
that guy
few
is
fights away,
very legit,
and he's
very
good.
legit.
Right.
So it's one championship or Bellator, but one being where it is, I don't think that'll happen, especially with Austin being in Bellator. So
If she fights again, I mean, we don't.
if she does fight, yes,
Yeah,
if
we
she
don't
truly
know.
fights. So yeah, that's the end of the Van Zant era in the UFC, presumably.
Believe so. Yep.
Presumably.
Okay, so there was a third. There was a third fight, and I think it was pretty much overlooked this whole time because of Amanda Ribas, Rose Namajunas. Carol Rosa beat Vanessa Mello by unanimous decision. It was just, I don't know how that one judge gave it a 29-27.
Yeah.
That's
A little
weird
bit.
as fuck. But again, these are the judges that they had to deal with all night. So
Like, I was gonna say what the first round maybe, but I was like, no. I mean, and then even the stats in the third round here are obviously closer, but that one was pretty clear feeling too. I mean,
Rosa
it
was
was
on
just
top
not
of her
good
the whole
for.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Weird, very weird that somebody gave her a round and then she got 10-8'd in the second round. Pretty obviously,
Yeah.
man. That's probably the end of, if you want to talk about the end of UFC careers. I mean, Vanessa Melo has got to go now. I mean, we were talking about it last week how she was stepping up and everything, and probably could be fine if she lost here, but then she comes in and misses like 5 pounds, which that's just, that's pretty much the nail in the coffin on top of losing so clearly here. Yeah, I mean, Rosa looked solid. I wasn't super impressed with it, honestly, but it was a very solid win. She clearly won, so that's always a good thing. I don't see, you know, title contender potential in her yet, like let's say a Julia Avila or somebody like that, who's not really knocking on the top 10 yet, but is very close. I wouldn't put Rosa in that category, but it is good to see somebody, more people at bantamweight on the back end who look like they can climb.
Yeah,
Rosa has potential, but it's just I don't know how much yet. I need to see her against some better people, because remember, she did have a split decision in her close UFC debut, and then has been plagued with all those, visa issues and every sort of issue that you could think of to get back here. So just good for her to get back in the octagon at all, and then get a very solid win. Nothing too crazy, which feels funny to say because she did thoroughly win and got that 10-8 in the second round, like I said. But yeah, it was just very solid win. There's no other way to put it. Looked sharp, like good enough everywhere. Well-rounded performance.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Um, she fought her fight. I mean, that was she did her thing, and she didn't really have a lot coming back at her. It was it was a good fight for Rosa, uh, and I think that, like we said, I think Melo's done in the UFC. I mean, she's not showing a whole lot. Sure, she just shows up, but I mean, she showed up this time, and she was overweight by 5 pounds or 3 pounds or whatever it was. Like, when you start losing and you're missing weight, you're getting,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not a good look. I don't care what the circumstances are. We're in the pandemic. Sure, they're looking for fighters, but at this, they can get fighters now. Now that they're doing this Fight Island thing, they can get fighters coming into Abu Dhabi from all over the world. It doesn't even have to be a UFC fighter at this point. This card that we have coming up tomorrow on Wednesday, there's fights where there's literally two There's UFC debuts fighting each other just to put people on a card. I mean, we can see that we can see new people coming into the UFC now. Now that they're doing this Fight Island thing, but
Yeah, the door is open for international fighters.
yeah, well, for now, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's not getting any better here in the United States. We'll see
People are stupid.
we'll see what happens in
People
Nevada
are
too.
stupid.
Man, if they shut down
yeah.
Nevada again, UFC is going to be struggling once again.
Yep, that would not be ideal for them whatsoever.
I don't know what
So,
I don't know what Nevada's looking like, what their numbers are, or Las Vegas Las Vegas. But if they shut down like they did last time, the UFC's not gonna. Where are they gonna go? Florida again? Maybe. Florida's terrible right now.
yeah.
Arizona's terrible because they all opened up way too soon.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not know. I imagine they'll just make them all be on Fight Island or something, right? I mean, I know Dana said that they were gonna do one in Arizona for like sure, but that was kind of before the Apex stuff got figured out, I think. So
Right.
yeah.
I just don't see. I just don't see them going many places in the United States right now. And Bellator is coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be in Connecticut, but they're going to be on a reservation.
Yep. Yep. So it'll be
Anyway,
interesting. I mean,
yeah,
hopefully. Yeah, but that was UFC 251.
yep,
So very good fun there. And we had action the day after. Man, it's just nonstop.
yeah.
Just nonstop.
Amanda Lowen showed us why she's a beast in grappling. She did beat Aaron Hurl by an armbar in overtime. I think they just went into overtime. They were trying really they were really trying to go, during the match, but I think they were going for overtime. Welcome to my homie Moni.
Look who it
Right,
is.
right on time for Amanda Lowen talk. Your love jujitsu.
Perfect timing. Oh no. Jits Bay did lose that night though.
Oh
Jits Bay
god.
lost.
Oh
I
god.
had to bring it up.
Oh my god. How did he even lose?
God damn. Yeah. Insanity. Pure insanity. Did not see that coming. And my stream was actually a little bit delayed. So I was looking at Twitter like during this match and I saw that you posted, holy shit, Craig Jones lost. I was like, what? I was like,
Dude.
I need to see this
Dude,
right
I was
now.
shocked. I was straight up shocked by Craig Jones. He grunted too loud. He went, he went,
He
"Argh."
did, man. He was
Dude,
really
twice.
noisy.
It wasn't only once, it was twice. Like,
Well,
Craig
it was
Jones.
weird because the first time he did it, I think the referee, Dave Hagen, somebody was asking like verbal tap, like they were asking about it. Like I heard that be said, and I was like, oh shit, like that's really weird. And then he did it again when he was getting cranked, and it's like, like dude, if you had to hear that, whoever said that, I know he didn't say it, so it had to be Fowler or Hagen that said verbal tap. Bro, don't make it. Just be quiet. I'm sure it hurts, But it reminded me of Joe Warren when he lost to whoever he lost, and then he said like, "No, I didn't tap, but can't do that, yo. That's the rules.
It was
Them's the
fucking
rules," as Mooney
crazy, dude.
says.
I was shocked by it. I was like, I couldn't believe what I saw. I could not believe that Craig Jones
Yeah,
lost.
it's it's a tiny bit fluky, but it's a legit win, obviously. But it doesn't feel the same as seeing him tap. But yeah, it still counts, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So Money said them the rules, and that's the one thing that I about grappling. You make noises. Like you're gonna make a noise when you're freaking when somebody's trying to choke you out. Like you're gonna you're gonna just stay quiet while trying to move out of a position. Like that just doesn't fucking like man, that rule sucks.
I hear you.
That rule fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, because it's like if
so
they're not,
aggravating.
if you're not saying tap, I get it. Like yeah, just making a noise. That is, yeah, it's a bit of a gray area. But anyways, yes, Amanda Lowen did pick up a win over Aaron Hurley, who was filling in for Jillian Robertson. Did she get it? Did she get Corona herself? Because I know that
I don't think she got it. I think it was somebody that she was in contact with.
something she knew. Okay. So yeah, supposed to be Jillian Robertson. But I thought it was a pretty fun match, more exciting than that Jessica I one, which I'm always going to go back to as we go on here. More exciting, but as we knew, just a matter of time for Miss Amanda. So yeah, it'd be exciting to see what's next for her. Did Chael say anything about possible next opponents or trying to reset the Robertson matchup or anything? I didn't hear.
No, I don't think
Don't
that
think so.
he said anything about matchups. I think that he said who was going to be on the card.
Okay.
Vinny Magalhaes
Yeah, okay.
is going to be on the card. I'm assuming that Craig Jones is on the card because he's on every fucking card now.
Well, Mason said he'll give him a rematch, so
Fowler said that he
I
would
mean-
give Craig Jones a rematch.
so
Man,
yeah, I mean, you gotta do that. You have to. You have to do Fowler and Jones rematch. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Especially the guy who's never lost in submission underground. arguably the best ever. He's up there and all that, and then he loses in that fashion. It's like you gotta do it. So whether it's next or at the event after that, who knows? But yeah, come on, come on.
So Lowen and Harrell, they trained together before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a good matchup. Lowen is just she's so damn good, man. I'm not
Yeah.
sure who they're gonna get to come in and really give her.
That's what I heard. Chael, he brought up
Gabby Garcia.
my suggestion. Yeah, he brought up
I was
my
like,
suggestion.
the fuck, Gabby Garcia.
Dude, that's what I want. That is
Out
what
of
I
here,
want.
Gabby Garcia. I mean, you might
I
as
want
well
to
bring
see
in
it.
Amanda Nunes, man.
I'll watch that too. That would be amazing.
I would definitely watch
That
that.
would be fucking sick if they
I
got
would
Nunes
still
in
take
on that shit.
Amanda Lowen over Amanda Nunes.
Yes, but it would be damn good. That would be, oof, that would be fun. That would be very fun. Ugh. Man, now I'm just thinking about it. Just thinking about it.
Hey,
Yeah,
if
good stuff
if
from
anybody
Nunes.
can do it, Chael Sonnen can make Amanda Nunes come into submission underground. I mean, he got fucking
He got Jones to
John
do it.
Jones and Dan Henderson.
That was for one of the very first. That might have been the
I was
first
there.
one.
I was there.
Yeah,
That was so fun, dude. Oh my god, John Jones.
crazy.
He needs to get
Crazy.
John Jones back. He's not doing anything. Might as well get him on a fucking on a grappling card. Shit. Homeboy doesn't
Yeah,
want to
why
fucking
not?
take a fight.
Yeah, let's do Jones versus Craig. Jones
Oh,
versus Craig
dude,
Jones.
dude.
Jones versus Jones.
That would be so much fun because Jones is, he's a sneaky, lengthy motherfucker, and Jones is
Yeah,
Craig Jones is as well. But Jones is
that would be
obviously
so interesting.
he's obviously the better grappler than John Jones, obviously.
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes.
John Jones is like he's not terrible on the ground. We just don't ever see him on the ground.
Well, we don't that. Plus, we don't ever see him against the highest of caliber grapplers either, though.
Right,
I
that's
mean,
also
yeah,
true.
so
We see him in striking wars.
yeah, yeah. Things alike. So, man, we're going off the rails with this submission underground talk. Get back
Okay,
on track with the
I'm
ladies.
perfectly fine with talking about Craig Jones all for an hour.
Yeah, yeah. I'm good with it too. But hey, we got an audience to maintain here. An audience of 3.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you,
that Moni
everybody.
is fine with me talking about Craig
Yes,
Jones for an hour or
I'm
two.
sure she is too. And she'll tell us that she is fine with it. But anyway, that was that. So, plenty of news now coming at you. And Ryzen is back.
Finally,
The biggest news of all, if we're going to be honest here. Take it away, Steven.
super atomweight fight: Kana Sakura versus Mizuki Furushi at Ryzen number 22 on August 9th. Kana Asakura.
Kana, can't go wrong.
Fun.
No need to apologize, Moni. Yes, I am so happy about Ryzen returning. And I'm a little perplexed, though, because I think that both of these cards are only 4 fights alone. I know they announced 8 total, 4 for each of them, but I thought they were going to add more. But as
It
of
doesn't seem like it.
yesterday, yeah, they revealed the poster and like everybody's on it. So I was like, oh shit, I guess that might be it. Which, I get it, kind of go light for your first events back, but yeah,
And that's
I'll take
totally
it.
not
I'll take
Ryzen.
it.
That's totally not Ryzen like either. They want to put on
No.
a 25 fight card with 3 intermissions.
Yeah. Yeah, instead we get our doubleheader back to back. Yeah, very good point. Definitely not how, supposed to be. How they like to do it. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see Kana back. I don't think she's fought since the Bellator debut. That gnarly Kimura. And now she's taking on Faruse, who's really trying to get on the come up and, kind of a similar situation here to Mina Karobe's fight, and goodness, I'm blanking on our opponent, but who we talked about last week, right? Very similar, where it's the established atom weight elites, the staples of like the top 10, 15. Kana's like that 5'6" range. He's up there, and then Mizuki, who's trying to break on in, and only 19 years old. We have two very
Super young.
experienced young fighters.
Yeah.
Kana is only 22, and she's 16-4, one of the
It
best
seems like
atomweights
that
in the
Kana
world.
is older than 22 because she's been in like
All the
fucking
fights?
50 fights.
Yeah, man, and already a superstar. Really has become a superstar after the
Yeah.
Reina rivalry. Um, Gosh, and yeah, they're just so young. They're just so young. So Feruse, yeah, making the climb here. I don't have a record up at the moment, but I believe it is like 7-6 or something. But she's got where those first couple fights she lost, and now she's on a good streak here of like 4 or something like that. Yeah, very big challenge, very big opportunity for her to really launch herself up. Um, I'm all for it. I'm all for some new atom weights getting in there and against some established ones who are still young as well. It's still just so crazy to think about how young they are, and but the experience that they rack up so quickly.
Yeah, I mean
So
she's 7-6. She had a
okay, I was right.
ton of losses early, and then she's won the
That's
last
good.
4. Um,
It's like don't
all
don't
in
look completely into the record. Yeah,
right. Yeah, don't records, especially early, don't mean shit. You see people like Jorge Masvidal who have been fighting forever. Sure, their record isn't the best. It could be a lot better, but fighters lose at some point.
it's even like Mark Hunt's record,
Right.
and yeah, there's a
Emelian,
couple people like that.
Emelianenko, Fedor, fucking, he has losses now. Like, you can't just look at wins and losses. You have to actually look at when they happened, how they happened, where they happened.
The best example of of that is Celine Haga, right? Who, when she started her career, she was like 1-10,
Right.
and so that made her record look really bad. But then she went on this great streak after that. So it's like it's just a funny thing. That one is always hilarious to me. Um, but yeah, on Mizuki again here, she's competing in that tag team match at Deep Jewels 29, that really exciting atomweight tag team match with Ayaka Hamasaki, and then Emi Tomomitsu, and I'm forgetting who the other person is, but it's another good atom weight, another top atom weight. Mizuki's like the one who's the odd one out in terms of experience and notable names there. So
But again, she's only
that'll be
19
exciting.
years old, so
Only 19, so it's understandable.
yeah.
And I think that she actually does have a fight on that card too, but I'm totally not sure about that. I should have looked into it before coming on here, but she might have 2 fights lined up now. Either way, man, trying to stay active, these ladies. So good
Yeah,
to have Ryzen back.
it's the time. It's the time to be active if you're willing to step up.
Yep.
I think these promotions will take literally anybody who wants to fight at this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But moving on to one hell of a matchup that we've kind of been waiting for a while now.
Oh man! All right, so a starweight fight between Mackenzie Dern and Brandon Marcos at UFC 253 in September, hopefully in Las Vegas. Man, that's quite a bit of ways out, so we don't know if it'll actually be in Las Vegas or not. But as
Yeah.
far as the fight, it's a fun one. Big time hype for Mackenzie Dern for myself, and Moni, if you're still around. I know that you love her too. Um, and Drake, you love Randa Marcos.
I'm just happy that she's not going against Kanako in Kanako's debut. Even though I really do like that matchup as just a fight. I think that would have been a really good one for her to debut. But you know, Randa and Mackenzie Dern, they were supposed to be, what was it, when Randa fought, I think it was Yoder. I think initially that was supposed to be Mackenzie Dern, but then she got pregnant. Something they were supposed to, you know, initially be matched up at some point. And yeah, it's very interesting that like you said, we'll see what happens with Las Vegas. I think that Canada's borders are currently still closed too, which is it makes it even more interesting. So, yeah, we will see about that. As for the matchup, very good one. Obviously, we know that Randa will want to be very careful on the ground and pretty much avoid it this time around. Anyone who's smart should probably do that against Mackenzie Dern, as we saw against Hannah Cyphers, who was doing all right on the feet and, you know, had enough strength to really, you know, muscle Dern around until things just kind of fell down. And Dave giving me the correction there that they are still closed, Canada that is. So yeah, very
Because
interesting.
Canada is smart.
Because Canada is smart like that. So hopefully they can let her out by September 19th. We will see. It's a kind of a gamble that, you know, she has to take, you know, to accept the fight and see if it happens. Hopefully we do get to see it because it is a very good test for both of them at the moment. You know, Dern has obviously shown power. It's good. It's a good one. You know, I don't know. Just the more I think about it, it's always obvious where you don't want to go with Mackenzie Dern. So
Yeah. Mackenzie will hurt her very bad on the ground. I mean, there's not many people who are better than her on the ground. She's just a beast. Randa, unfortunately, she's like trading wins and losses at this point in her career. She is coming off a loss, though, isn't she?
yeah, so that means she's gonna win.
All right. So if she keeps her streak, then she beats Mackenzie Dern, which honestly
Yeah.
I don't see happening. Mackenzie is just really turned it. She's really she's becoming a full package. She came in a Brazilian jiu-jitsu phenom. Her striking is getting better and better every fight.
I don't know if I agree with you on that just yet. Like, you know, with
Wait,
that
you don't
side,
agree
that
that
side first.
it's getting better? Did you not remember her
Well,
fight where she looked like she was flailing her arms around? Well,
no, no, no. I mean,
I don't remember that
yes,
which fight that was, but it was like, dude, okay, you got to do something about that stand up.
yeah. It was probably maybe I don't know. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it was not. She was very, very sloppy and wild. But
Yeah,
yes, it's obviously getting cleaner. I don't know. I think she's not showing as many improvements at as quickly of a pace as let's say Amanda Ribas who beat her convincingly,
yeah.
like Ben Askren says Dave, in terms of the flailing. But you know, I look at that Cyphers fight and the thing that has always been really Mackenzie's biggest hole or something that she needs to work on the most, I would say, obviously that striking is up there, but man, her lack of any ability to really put together takedowns that are legitimately takedowns, you know? Like usually she's dragging people down or just kind of trying to find throws of sorts, but they do not come easily, you know, because it's very predictable what she's going to do. She doesn't really have any traditional takedowns in her arsenal that we've seen yet, which, you know, would really help somebody who's as great of a grappler as she is. But against somebody like Randa, who will try and counter momentum and all that stuff with her wrestling background, it
Yeah.
definitely helps her. So
The
it is tricky.
flailing, was it the Ashley Yoder fight?
That might have been it. I think you're right because that one she arguably lost, right? That was a
That
split
was
decision, I
her.
think.
Was that her UFC debut?
I don't remember. I don't have her record up, but
Okay.
it might have been the one before she got pregnant. So like her last fight
Okay. So
before. Ribas.
So then that was Amanda Cooper, where she beat Cooper in the first round.
Oh, Cooper was her debut.
No, Ashley Yoder was her debut
Oh, okay, okay.
at
Yeah, Cooper, she
UFC
got the
22.
knockout, not knockout, but she
Uh,
landed
re-
one of those big.
yeah, she actually popped her.
Yeah,
So I
and
think
does it answer?
the flailing around fight was Yoder.
Yeah, yeah, because Yoder was starting to land with some good
Hmm.
counters in that one. I remember. And our question from Moni here about Cypher's reversing rather than takedown. Yeah, I think it was because I remember it was sort of that thing where the momentum was shifting, and the balance was just leading there, and so Cyphers took it down, and she decided to play around for just just enough time to give up, the heel hook or whatever leg lock it was. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't
It was a knee
anything.
bar,
Yeah, the knee bar. It wasn't
the first in
the take.
women's UFC history, or yeah, UFC
Yep. Yeah.
women's history.
Wild, wild, wild. But
All right,
more
so
former strawweights.
Emily Whitmire is set to take on Polyana Viana at the UFC Apex on August 29th. Decent fight, right?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid fight. I mean, let's see. I should have pulled up. I have so many tabs open. I didn't manage to pull up some of these fighters' records, but I'm trying to remember Viana's last fight, if she, which one it was. But Whitmire,
Four and three.
she's 4-3.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, okay.
And Viana is 10-4.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with this matchmaking. Emily Whitmire, she really has turned things around in my books and impressed me a lot more since the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't think she was that great on the Ultimate Fighter season that she was on, but hey, she's managed to look pretty solid, get some good wins here and there. And then Viana, she kind of had some hype on her, but that ended up getting, kind of halted by JJ Aldrich and and so forth, and Veronica Macedo. That might have been what I'm thinking about. Veronica Macedo got that armbar on her in like a minute or so to keep her job temporarily. But yeah, this is a very interesting matchup. I think that on the feet it should be pretty even, but I think it'll be pretty grappling heavy. I think they both believe in themselves on the ground, and we'll see a submission from somebody. It's fair matchmaking. I don't think anyone's in danger of losing their job in this one, especially with the times and situationally, all that stuff.
Yeah.
On August 29th, Apex. We'll see. We'll see if it happens again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they'll get cut if they lose, if one of them loses. Uh, they're they're both UFC caliber fighters. I mean, Whitmire's been around for a while since Tough. I mean, that was back in 2017. It was 3 years ago.
That was the it was the Suarez season, right? Because she was at strawweight.
Yeah,
Yeah, Suarez and it's tough 23. It feels longer ago than that. It feels longer than 2017. But I guess that is 3 years. I don't know. I don't know.
but I think that Polyam
So yeah,
Viana is a tough fight for Whitmire, though. I like the fight.
could be. Yeah, I'm good with it as well. I'm good with it as well. So to move along to some kickboxing.
Oh man, see, I didn't even see this until you showed me
Yeah, you
earlier.
see it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. King Reina is back to take on Marina Kumagai at Deep 95 Impact on August 23rd. It's a kickboxing match, so that will be really interesting and fun.
Yeah. And before we move on here, Alexander, shout out to him. Thanks for stopping by, man. He said that it was the flyweight season. So
So
okay, for some reason
26.
yeah, for some reason I thought that Whitmire was Maybe she used to fight a strawweight, but I don't know. I thought it was because yeah, that Suarez season was longer ago than that. Um, so yeah, as for this kickboxing match here with King Reina, who's returning, and honestly, I do not really know anything about Marina Kumagai. I'm assuming she's probably maybe a kickboxer. But yes, Moni asks, has she kickboxed before? All in caps. I don't think so.
I think she had.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a couple times.
I think that she did kickbox before. Reina used to be really active fighter.
Yeah.
She
No,
did she did literally everything. So, and I'm almost positive that she has kickboxed before. I'm gonna
I think you
pull,
might
pull
be right.
I'm gonna pull up her topology right now and see. Grappling bouts, shuto bout, shoot boxing bout.
Close enough. Close enough.
They only
But yeah,
have
it is.
the shoot box.
Okay. It is interesting though because you know we, we've seen Reina not do like her weakness has been kind of the stand up in MMA. You know, like you look back at that Caitlin Young fight where
Yeah,
obviously Caitlin Young is somebody who she's not the easiest out on the feet for anybody, and went against Reina really had her way there, and Reina's still pretty young too, if I'm not wrong here. Um, I believe. But yeah,
she's 23,
interesting that
dude.
she'll be back here. 23. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I
That's
thought so.
super young.
Yeah, still doing what she's got to do, racking up that experience and all that. Um, so yeah, probably this is probably just a case where maybe they no MMA opponents that they could find necessarily. But it is interesting to see that it is at bantamweight because normally she's at featherweight, right? So that's
Right.
kind of a big thing as well. That maybe she's going to try and make that cut on down now. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she can improve that stand up, get some experience here against
Yeah.
Kukuma
I,
guy.
I mean, I would assume that that's why she's taking this fight is because she wants to get more stand up time rather than just training time. She wants a real fight
Hmm.
where it's going to be all stand up. Um, because she's good on the ground when she takes it to the ground. When she gets on top of somebody, she's really good. It's just
Yeah,
always been her striking, much like Mackenzie Dern.
yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, very good comparison there. Yeah, she's Japan's Mackenzie Dern, just not as high level of a grappler, but that's obviously her strength.
Right.
So yeah,
Moni, that was from Shoot Boxing Girls S Club, July of 2018, against Young Ji Kim.
there you go. There you go. Pulling up the facts. So now we have a fight change here. As we can see,
When I don't even know when they made that change.
yeah, they announced this a couple days ago.
I didn't see that.
July 10th. July 10th. Yeah. So, Mika Arai now in versus Shizuka Sugiyama at Deep Jewels 29 on July 23rd because of COVID-19 related issues with Kana Kagayo.
Hmm.
That's a bummer, but that's what
Yeah.
happens. um, it's funny though because Kana Kagayo was somebody who really experience wise shouldn't have been in there with Sugiyama. We talked about that how it was like, all right, they're just kind of putting on a fight, really. give Sugiyama a chance to shine a little bit, give her some showcase fight, and then Mika stepping in, which it's nice for her. Thank you to her for doing that, but she's actually like a career atomweight, and now she's kind of not got any weight for this bantamweight fight. 4-1, I believe. Limited experience in comparison to Sugiyama,
Yeah.
and now outside. So at
That's
least
that's
Sugiyama
such
is
a
getting a
weird.
fight
That's such a weird.
dynamic.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know that they did that, and then now I'm just completely baffled by it.
Yeah, it's all over the place. But hey, Gotta do what you gotta do during these times.
Yeah, I
So
suppose so.
will be interesting.
And Deep Jules is always, they're just coming up with some weird shit all the time anyway. So I'm not really surprised by this, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, it wasn't the original plan, but hey.
Yeah, it wasn't the original,
Yeah.
right?
So,
But that's a big step up, though. Man.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. But hey, opportunity to capitalize there for Arame. But
So more fight news.
so much.
Jessica Rose Clark will be taking on Sarah Alpar at the UFC Apex on September 26th. It's actually a really good fight.
Yeah, it is. It is a good fight. And man, kind of crazy, looking Sarah Alpar, she knocked off Shanna Young in the Contender
Yeah,
Series to get her contract, which that surprised me. I mean, I know that Shanna Young's hype kind of died down a little bit after she had that layoff due to her hip injuries and everything, but man, she still came back and showed some good promise. Still, maybe not at the same level, but Sarah Alpar managing to actually submit her with a rear naked choke in the second round. Pretty big win, that extended her streak to 3. And then she was actually supposed to, make her UFC debut sooner than this. But unfortunately, issues happened with opponents, and then coronavirus prevented her from fighting Vanessa Mello, who we talked about earlier, who lost to Carol Rosa on Saturday, this past Saturday. And now she gets Jessie Jess, who is looking to rebound herself.
yeah.
I mean, damn, damn. I think that the timing of everything makes this a lot better than than anything. Because they're both going to be very hungry to just fight and win. you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty evenly matched fight, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's hard to say with Jessie. She's kind of had the speed bumps here. She's back at bantamweight, obviously. Since that last fight with Panny, she came up
Yeah.
from flyweight after that time, and now she's had plenty of time to, damn, get into some shape. She's showing off her abs all the time.
She's looking
Looking
really great.
hashtag a little thick. My apologies, Jesse. Um, so yeah, I mean, looking in good shape, like a bantamweight. I mean, she was looking good for that Panty fight as well. But I mean, more time to get your body adjusted is never a bad thing. So yeah, I think she'll be more sharp, on point here for this one, to be more acclimated to be an actual bantamweight. Because she used to be a bantamweight before she went down to flyweight, but it was like she wasn't trying to be a bantamweight. You know what I mean? It was like just not really cutting weight to get there. But now, happy and healthy bantamweight. And Sarah Alpar, who is kind of, a sleeper prospect of sorts. Does that make sense? To say that, kind of trying to come up, and she's got a name opponent here for her debut. Very well rounded. Uh, yeah, I think this fight could be fun everywhere that it goes, and I think it will probably go all over the place. I want to see Jessie try and utilize more of her grappling, like she was talking about for going into that Panty fight, but really didn't get a chance to, just because Panty defended well. Um, See if she can do that against Alpar as well. But she likes to get into brawls. Just kind of how things turn out, like to make things fun on the feet. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think it's fine matchmaking. I'm
She's
always excited for a Jessie Jess fight.
Yeah, she's just all over the place, man. I love watching her fight. And what I really love about her is that she calls out people on Twitter. She puts them on blast, and that is fucking phenomenal. It's good laughs
Man,
when she puts
good
people
laughs.
on blast.
Lots of weirdos.
I mean, look at her. Of course, there's gonna be weirdos. I couldn't imagine being a woman on Twitter, dude. Like a fighter on Twitter or any social media.
Yeah,
It's just,
any celebrity presence or something like that.
it's just dudes are wild, man. Dudes are wild.
Yep, That we are. Not us, but
Not as personally, but
not us
there's some
personally.
dudes out there that are fucking crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fuck with the wrong one, and they're gonna put your ass on blast though, and make you look stupid.
Yeah, because they are stupid. So, goddamn. So let's try and get through this fight news. We're almost done. There's so much. We
It's
got
so
some
weird because
little ones
there's
here.
we last week we barely had any fight news, and then this week it's like
Oh,
everything is happening.
piled up,
All right,
piled up.
so Nico Montano and Julia Vila, their fight was scheduled for August 8th at the UFC Apex, and now they are fighting on September 5th at a undisclosed location. We would assume that it's at the Apex. Nico is from New Mexico. Julia Vila is from California. So, I mean, you would assume that it's at the Apex, right?
I think she's from Oklahoma, but yes, she. Yeah, I would assume so. Thanks, Moni, um, giving us the gentleman shout out. The interesting thing about this tiny tidbit of news, relocated and all that, is the distance, between events going August 8th to September 5th. That makes me think that it's injury related, maybe on Nico's part, rather than, the coronavirus. Maybe they would, like, for example, they bump back Carla and Marina, like, what, a week? So going almost a full month back makes me think maybe this one's an injury. Haven't heard anything yet, but
Yeah, I don't know.
we'll
But
see. We'll see.
Nico on her Instagram, she's running.
Mm,
She's running in the hills.
could be Julia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything about this, so it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that rematch. So
Good fight.
good fight. Interesting fight. Very interesting. Speaking of moving back a week, though. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Too soon. Wrong one. Pulled up the wrong image.
Okay, so
But
uh, Yana Kunitskaya is going to fight Katalin Vara at uh, where? A UFC event at the Apex on August 8th.
yes.
On August 8th.
Yes. Yeah, this was just supposed to be August 1st, and then now it's being moved for an unknown reason. Probably corona related, right? But interesting thing is, this is set for Vegas, and I think we talked about this when the news initially broke. Set for Vegas. Ketlin's from Brazil,
Right.
you know.
Is
So
she is she in the United States then?
maybe that's why this is being bumped back, because she's come into the United States
And
early
she
for
has to
this or something.
quarantine.
Yep, I bet that's actually
But if
what it
she's
is,
from
because Yana has
Brazil,
been here.
they're not letting Brazilians into the United States at this point.
Yeah. Huh. Good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this fight being bumped back just 1 week.
Yeah. Has to be pandemic related though, right? Something,
Mm,
something like
yeah,
that.
just weird shit going on all around right now.
Yep. Yep. That's that.
Okay, more fight news. Montana De La Rosa will be taking on Marina Moros at the UFC event to be determined on September 5th. Um, Again, we don't know where any of the September cards are going to be held yet. They haven't said yet, right? As far as September cards.
I think some of them maybe, but yeah, not these, not this one. But I love this fight. I'll tell you that much. I
Yeah,
think this is a great matchup.
this is a fun one.
Yeah, this is a very exciting matchup. Marina Moroz has just been revitalized at flyweight. Like, man, it's been great to see. And then Montana, always a gamer, very competitive fighter through and through. It'll be interesting to see if she can hang with Moroz's striking, because she's been just on point, since coming up. Took out Sabina Mazo,
Yeah.
man, we've kind of forgotten about her a little bit, just to throw her name out there. And then had that really good fight in her last one, which is fight of the night on whichever card that was, that I don't remember which card it was. But yeah, man, Moreau's looking very good. Montana is a very interesting stylistic matchup. You would think she's going to want to take it to the ground, do what she usually does, is smother people, beat them up. But Moreau's is dangerous off the ground, off her back and whatnot with her submissions. So I love it. I really like this matchup. I'm excited for it. Wherever it takes place. I don't think Marina lives in America either. So there's that. But
Yeah, who knows where it's going to be. But Montana De La Rosa is really fun to watch. She's really came into her own. Um, Aside from the tough season that she was on, she's really just now she's a ranked fighter. I think she is ranked number 11, 12, something like that. She's ranked number 12 in the flyweight division. So she's a ranked fighter now. And not a lot of those tough women can say that.
yeah, and she's kind of been holding on to, a back end spot
Right.
for a little bit now.
She's
So
kind of with every fight she's getting better. She's kind of climbing up the rankings, one or two rankings at a time. Pretty soon, if she beats Moros, you would assume that she would be inside the top 10 at some point.
yeah, and vice versa. Morose could launch herself up there too.
Yeah.
Obviously, because that would give her a three fight winning streak, and then beating somebody like Montana would be a very solid name to have, and a welcome addition to, that top 15 range. So I'm all for this one. I was very excited to see this be made.
Yeah. It's a fun fight.
But man, you want to talk about something that isn't fun, is the news that broke today that I don't know if you saw this.
That's all.
This bums me the fuck out, dude.
This is one of them that I did see, unfortunately. All right, so
Bums me.
Stephanie Galtmacher is out of her Invicta FC41 co-main event matchup with Aaron Blanchfield on July 30th. Rogan Walker Sanchez is set to fill in. That's such a bummer for Galtmacher.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, don't know exactly what the reason is, but
Yeah, they didn't say what
most
the
of
reason is, but I mean,
Right
like
there.
we've said, everything you would have to assume everything is COVID-19 related at this point, right?
I mean, injuries are still a possibility, but yeah,
It's true. That's true. But
they've been less likely actually,
yeah,
which is funny to think about. But Brogan Walker Sanchez is a solid replacement. It's just I was so excited for that fight, that
yeah,
fight with Blanchfield and Geltmacher. I mean, we probably won't get to see it now. As if Blanchfield can win this fight, we probably won't get to see it, which makes me sad because I still want to see that no matter what. But yeah, Walker Sanchez is definitely he's a fun one to watch too. We've seen her in there against Pearl, and
yeah.
she knocked off somebody. I can't remember. It wasn't Maverick, was it? I know that she got an upset on somebody a while ago. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it should still be a fun fight. And I mean, Aaron Blanchfield, that's just, you can't go wrong with her. One of the best prospects out there. I just want that Geltmacher fight. I just want that one.
Yeah, it's just
So,
unfortunate for her. We don't. I mean, we don't know.
yeah.
We don't know the reasoning behind it. We have no idea.
Yep. So, all right.
Yeah,
Let's.
a lot of fighters' teams dropping too. You're right, Dave. They are. Like we see with tomorrow's fight card. Friggin' who Paul Felder stepping in for some Jared Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna quarter Gordon because his whole team's out.
Crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, wild.
Very crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna preview tomorrow night's UFC Fight Island Fight Night 1 card. Starting with Diana Belbita and Le- Liana Jojua. Um, Jojua made her UFC debut last fight, and she lost. Right?
Yep, they both did.
Did Belbita
Both
lose
looking
as
to
well?
rebound. Yeah, Belbita lost to Molly.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So yeah, we got the two young prospects here come looking to rebound off of their tough UFC debut losses, and I mean the UFC did them zero favors with both of their debuts. I ranted a little bit about how Belbita was given to Molly McCann in that debut fight. Put up a solid, effort and made it the distance, as opposed to Joju was, lost to Sarah Morris, a more
Right.
experienced, very seasoned in comparison veteran for her debut. Yeah, just did them no favors. Um, but Belbita did look better than Jojua if we're going to compare their debuts. Jojua is dropping down now to flyweight, which makes things, a bit more interesting. But the thing is here, this should, if we're going to go off of those two performances, I think that this fight should be pretty clear cut if they come in the same way because Belbita is generally, a pretty aggressive fighter, somebody who at least attacks pretty regularly, doesn't really wait for the opponents. I mean, you go back and look at her fight with Ariane Lipsky, who we will get to as well in KSW for the title. Was willing to engage with Lipsky, which that was champ Lipsky, Violence Queen. We're talking about here.
Yeah. Who do
Hopefully,
you?
we get to see that
How
come
do you
back.
engage with Lipsky at that point?
Yeah,
When she
danger
hits?
zone. And then you look at Jojua versus Morris. I mean, this is a bantamweight, but so take it for what it is. Man, just Morris was putting the pressure on, not like super aggressively, but throughout the fight, and Jojo just could not really do anything about it. Like she was just getting muscled around, she was second to strike, like she was just slower in all regards. And Belbita's general, you know, attack or her general approach to a fight is to do something a little bit similar, maybe a little bit of a higher output than somebody like Morris too, who isn't exactly known for her incredible striking or output or anything, because Morris isn't too great, if we're going to be honest. So Belbita, I think, should be able to dictate the action here, which is not something Jojo has shown to be comfortable with. So yeah, I just think that Belbita will be in her face and really have her way for the most part. Jojo likes to counter if she can land something good off of maybe some openings or something sloppy. That's probably her best bet, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I just see most of the advantages here in Belbita's favor.
I would assume. I would assume
Her,
so as well.
yeah. I mean, Jojo dropping a flyweight makes it interesting. Maybe that'll be a big, I don't know, a big change for her. um, we'll see, we'll see. But I got Belbita probably by unanimous decision. I think that Jojo will survive. But yeah, I have trouble seeing her win.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I will say one thing about this fight. It's really fucking marketable.
what do you mean by
And
that?
by marketable, I mean these two women are beautiful. Not that it means
Wow,
anything
this
when they're
is
not that it means anything when they're fighting, but they're they're gorgeous women.
this is really weird. I didn't really look at the tail of the tape here till just now, but this feels like it's in reverse. Like I didn't think that for some reason I thought that Jojoa was the
Was the
taller
taller
one.
one, right?
I thought she was lankier, but wow, that's
Apparently
really
she's not though. She's
yeah.
Belbita is like all around bigger,
I
which is
know, and
weird
that's really
because
weird.
Jajua
Dropping down.
came down in a way, right?
Very, very strange. Yeah, I didn't even realize that till I looked at it there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Very both are still pretty green. I mean, obviously Jojoa more than Belbita, even just looking at the records, which I know we kind of talked about the silliness of that. But hey, more numbers means more experience in general. So, and you look at quality
Yeah.
of opponents who they have
I
fought.
think
I mean,
that's yeah, I think that's what it is. As far as like Belbita, she's been in the tougher fights. I mean, clearly she's been in the tougher fights, and she's hung with the tougher fighters.
yeah, yep, exactly. So, Belbita for me,
Yeah, for
unanimous.
sure, 100% Belbita. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if if she gets a finish. Jujua is just
Yeah,
so like young and green, you know, like she's not been in a lot of big fights. I don't know. Maybe she'll maybe she'll uh maybe she'll come in and try to win in the UFC, you know?
like that. She would hope to.
I mean, you would think that that's what they're shooting for, but I don't know. I
We'll
picked
see.
Belbito to win this fight. Okay, so really quick for the three people that are paying attention to us right now. Michaela Meyer, one of the best female boxers, is about to fight on ESPN here in the United States. I don't know what it'll be on and where you're at. Moni, you're in Australia. Dave, you're in Canada. Um, she is a junior lightweight champion, I believe. I think it's junior lightweight. She's a beast. Um, Talking about marketable, she's marketable.
Had
Okay,
to get it out.
flyweight. Molly McCann versus Talia Santos. If you did not see the picture of Molly McCann, she ain't a meatball. She is lean meat right now.
Eat the meatball. Eat the meat. Oh my goodness. So yeah, no, she is definitely looking in pretty good shape for this one, and pretty heated. Not a heated stare down, but an intense one. Um, Gosh, I still am so upset that this fight is even made. I just really hate how they're handling Molly so far, especially on this winning streak.
Yeah.
Um, and man, taking on Taylor Santos, who good for her, man, got the most padded record of all time. It's just the most ridiculous record you'll ever see if you add up her opponents. And then, of course, she loses to, in her UFC debut to somebody who has a better record than all 15 of her opponents combined in Romero Barella. But admittedly, that fight was a lot closer than I expected it to be. That was a split decision for Barella, who really was able to win off of her grappling. And Santos actually had some pretty solid moments on the feet. But here she's taking on Molly, who can hang with her in the striking better than Barella will be able to. It's it just still annoys me. It still annoys me that this fight is happening, but yeah, man,
I think it's
Molly's
just circumstances, man. At this point, like they're just trying to get people to fight that are available to fight and who want to fight at this point. Uh, you know, on Fight Island specifically.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, very likely, very likely. But, as for the matchup, I think Molly will probably be a step ahead just about everywhere and,
Steamroll, dude.
what's that?
Molly's gonna steamroll her.
Steamrolling, yeah. I mean, she definitely should. On a tear right now. Being matched with people she shouldn't be matched with. Uh, um, so yeah, it'll be fun. Molly McCann fights are always fun, regardless of the opponent.
Yeah.
Seems very motivated. So hey, she could even go out here and get a finish. Um, I'm sure I could see her even utilizing some of her grappling. She's got that in the back pocket. She kind of used it a lot in now what she was in Cage Warriors, right? She would
Hmm.
whip it and when you whip it out, whip out that grappling. But on the feet is where this will be exciting. Frustrates me. Still frustrates me, but yeah, I got meatball by. I'm gonna say round three TKO. I think ground and pound actually.
Yeah, she's ranked number 15. She should be fighting ranked fighters at this point. She shouldn't be
three
fighting
three fight winning streak.
the Santoses, you know? She should be fighting a Montana De La Rosa or an Antonina Shevchenko or something like that. Um, I just think that she's gonna work work her overwork Santos. It's gonna be a Molly McCann fight. She's gonna be all over her. Um, and Santos isn't really gonna be able to get anything off because Molly McCann is just one of those fighters who is quick, who is fun, and who just is there for a fight. Santos is just going to get overworked. I wouldn't be surprised if Molly McCann gets a finish in the first or second round.
Yeah, she gets in the pocket really nicely against lengthy strikers too. It's pretty impressive. You know, we
She's
go
quick.
back and
She is super quick.
yeah, we look at that Cachoeira fight where she ended up with the meatball on her eye, but
Right.
was really looking great leading up to that. Could
But
see
she ain't
something.
looking like a meatball right now, man. She is fit. Like proper fit.
Proper fit. So, yep, two meatball picks for
Yeah,
the
for sure.
boys. Yeah, for
Oh
the
yeah.
boys.
Oh yeah.
So that is tomorrow's card. The only
Yep.
fights for tomorrow.
And then what we have on Saturday, we have one fight on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, Ariana Lipsky, who we mentioned earlier, the Violence Queen. We need to see some violence out of her against Luana Carolina. Um, Lipsky is the former KSW champion. We just haven't seen the in the UFC. We haven't seen the best from her yet. Um, she just hasn't. She just hasn't really gotten her hands going in this fight, or in the UFC yet. I think that she probably will this fight though.
Yeah, we've seen it in spurts, but really just not at the same effect that we're used to and
Yeah,
knowing and loving from the Violence Queen. And this matchup reminds me a little bit of the one we just talked about, where it's mostly, two pretty capable strikers, but one is more capable than the other traditionally, what we're used to seeing. Um, as for the matchmaking, it's kind of like whatever at this point with this one. Um, you know, Luana, she made her UFC debut in her last fight against Priscilla Cachoeira, who, also fought Molly McCann. She got in the UFC off of the Contender Series in Brazil, and here we are. So Lipsky ended up getting her first win in the UFC as well with that last fight.
yep,
And she utilized her grappling, a good amount in that one, which made it for not as much of a vintage Violence Queen performance, but got the win. I just want to see, I just want to see vintage Lipsky.
I want to
I
see the
really
hands
do.
go, man. I want to see him go.
Yeah,
That's where she's the
I
best.
yeah, I think she'll be a step ahead, especially in the speed department. I don't think Carolina will be able to match the speed, especially early on. In terms of their statistics here, pretty even. Obviously, same height. The reach is, 2 inches in favor of Carolina. Both pretty nasty in the clinch. I think that the clinch is probably Carolina's, best area. Has some pretty nice elbows in tight. But hey, Lipsky's a monster there as well. I just
Yeah,
think that she has more in her toolbox to counteract the game that Carolina will be bringing to her. And that speed, I think, is going to be a really big deal, especially early on. Lipsky seemed to get a little bit tired in those first two fights. I mean, the JoJo one particularly. And then Molly just kind of, surprised us all by beating Lipsky the way that she did. So yeah, man, I think this should hopefully be the coming out party, the real coming out party for the Violence Queen. It has the potential to be. but Carolina is tough. We'll give her that, so she should stick around for a little bit. But I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna say Lipsky via round 2 TKO. Just that speed, I think, will be big.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Lipsky probably gets the finish at some point.
She did hurt her last opponent too.
I mean, I would,
There was a moment it was close.
yeah, I would hope that she would get the finish because she is very capable of putting it on her opponents for a good amount of time, not just sporadic and kind of pop in, pop out, and it take a while for her to get going again, which I think we've seen. I think she's kind of held back in the UFC so far. Maybe this opponent will get her going again because she'll be able to get her hands going again, and like you said, maybe get in the clinch. Little beautiful Muay Thai from Lipsky. Get her on the ground and pound. That's basically what I see from Lipsky, though, is probably a second round, not TKO.
I think that just getting that first win in the UFC is probably a big thing for her because, man, the hype that she had coming in.
Yeah.
I think obviously, weighed on her. I think that's probably fair to say after seeing how it's gone so far. And then just getting that win by any means necessary at all, it will have made her feel a bit more comfortable here, and she should be able to shine like we know that she can. So, man, you can never miss a Lipsky fight though because of that potential that she brings.
Right.
Is was one of the best at a point and still can be. Still, we forget that she's still like 25, 26. So,
yeah, she's still young. I mean, she's still super young, and maybe we've already seen the best from her. KSW, maybe she was just that much better than her opponents. I don't know. But she's still super young. I mean, what's prime in MMA? 28 ish, somewhere around there, right?
28 to 31, it seems like.
Yeah,
around there.
She's only what did you say? 25.
25, 26, I believe. Oh, actually, I have it up. Let me see here.
She has a couple years to get to 26. To what you would think that her prime is. I don't know.
Which is scary.
Right. Because of what we've already seen from her. That's why it's so scary. We need to see it again. She needs to put a goddamn exclamation point on this shit and just be like, all right, the violence queen is here. Y'all better fucking watch out.
Exactly. So, yeah. Team Lipsky. When we agree on all the picks this double header weekend we got, and they're all flyweight matchups. I didn't realize that. That's nice. It's nice to see.
Yep. Flyweights are a good division. Super good division, actually.
Quite good.
A fun one. Okay, so
we made it.
Yes. Thank you, Moni, Dave, and there was somebody
Alexander
else. Right?
Was here. Alexander was here.
Yep, he popped in one time.
Yeah, I mean he could still be here, but yes,
he could be here, but he only said one thing, right?
Yep.
So thank you for watching us. Until next week.
Oh, actually, to do, obviously like, subscribe, and follow us, of course, you guys. But news for Dave and everybody. I've done my research on your question, my man, for the equality in terms of fighter pay. Oh. So working on that.
Yeah.
So you guys can look forward to that. I'm going to try and get it out before this week is over, but if not, then by next week. So that's something to look forward to. Most likely on my MA News, but either way, follow me and you will be able to see it there. And then other big projects in the works and interviews and all that. So stay tuned, everybody. Good stuff coming. But yes, I wanted to share that because obviously it ties into this. So it is coming along.
Awesome. And then I have a an article coming out probably tonight. Just finishing up a graphic on it. It's basically it. It's 3 fights to watch, for 3 overlooked fights to watch for tomorrow's card. I got to get it out tonight. I meant to do it earlier, and I kind of didn't do it.
Shit. Moni pulled up. I did see this news actually, but I didn't add it to the lineup.
Right, I saw that too. Thing. Yes.
So yeah, that is definitely a notable thing. And when I actually first saw this, I thought that it was to the UFC, and I was like, "Holy shit, let's slow down!" It's like, obviously, Chelsea Hackett is a phenomenal prospect, but I was like, "Oh wait, well, don't throw her right to the UFC." But yeah, no, definitely a very good person to have.
Yeah.
On the Contender Series, very bright future. I think she's looked very good so far.
That's in September, right? Is she on one of the
September
cards, or is it August card?
I don't know. I only saw the signing part, but Moni, if you know more about that part, well, they haven't even announced Contender Series yet, right? So, I mean, like,
yeah, no, they haven't. They haven't announced it, but all these fighters are coming out and saying we're signing the paperwork. It's going down, yeah. but the actual UFC hasn't said like when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. Obviously, the Apex, obviously, but when we're assuming October, huh? Wow, that is far away, dude. We're getting Contender Series from August through October. Because there are Contender Series fights in August, right?
I don't know. I haven't been seeing too much about the Contender Series stuff, aside from, a couple people here and there getting their chances and whatnot, like Chelsea. So
okay, so all right, if you're gonna follow anybody for Contender Series news, it's got to be Sean Bitter at MMA Wizard on Twitter. He is the man when it comes to the Contender Series fights, breaking the fight news for the Contender Series.
I thought you were going to say Nolan. Shout out to Nolan as well.
I mean, Nolan too, MMA Kings, but not as much since he's gone to MMA Junkie. It's not as much. Sean Bitter is the man when it comes to the contenders. The Contender Series.
Prospects in general. He's the guy.
Prospects in general. He's on top of that shit.
Yeah, always has been.
Yep.
So yes.
So yes, like, subscribe, and follow us on all social medias. Drake is, what are you, Drake? Drake Riggs.
At Drake Riggs _
Yeah, I am Steve K _MMA on Twitter, Instagram, Steve K MMA, on YouTube, MMA Inc. That's for the tattoos, interviews for tattoos. Working on some shit for that. It's got to happen. Need more tattoos.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's wrap it up. Send it home.
Fuck yeah, let's go. All right. Thank you for joining us, Moni, Alexander, and Dave. Thank you. And whomever else popped in without saying anything, thank you as well. Until next week. Peace.